So, let's talk about a really radical idea in geopolitics, one that's framed in a way we can all understand. Imagine a country's entire military, its whole ability to wage war, is just like a computer's hard drive. Now, what if you could just format it, just wipe it completely clean?
Okay, so let's get a handle on what this actually means. They're calling it the geopolitical hard drive format, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a strategy where you don't just weaken or defeat an enemy's military, you systematically erase it. We're talking about taking apart the Navy, the Air Force, the leadership, the whole thing, until there is absolutely zero capacity left to fight.
All right, so if we're hitting format on this geopolitical hard drive, what files are we actually deleting? The source material on this is incredibly specific.
First up, the Navy. Any ability to control the seas, to project power with ships, gone. That file gets dragged right to the trash.
Next, of course, is the Air Force. Every single plane, from fighters to bombers, the entire capacity to fight from the sky, completely taken off the board. Another file, deleted.
And here's maybe the most critical piece of the puzzle: the leadership. The command and control that actually runs the military. That's gone too. It's like deleting the entire operating system.
And this right here really shows you the sheer scale of this idea. It's not just about getting rid of the offensive weapons, right? It's the Navy, the Air Force, sure, but it's also all anti-aircraft systems, the entire defensive shield, and the leadership. It is, for all intents and purposes, a total military erasure.
So when you see a plan this drastic, this absolute, you have to ask the big question: why? Why do something so extreme? Well, the official reason comes down to one single, very important waterway.
The primary objective, the one that's stated out loud, is to guarantee that a critical international strait stays open for business. To basically force it open so global trade can flow freely.
But here's the twist. This is the central paradox of the entire strategy. The country carrying out this plan doesn't even use the strait itself. The whole massive military format is being done to protect a trade route for other countries.
And that question really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? If the stated reason isn't about your own direct self-interest, it makes you look a little deeper. It forces you to consider the other consequences, the major side effects of hitting that delete button.
So let's do that. Let's look at the huge and what are described as unintended consequences of this military wipe. Because this is where the strategy goes way beyond just a battle and starts to reshape an entire region.
The first major side effect is this number right here, 99%. What is that? Well, that's the stated level of certainty that after this format is complete, the nation in question will not have a nuclear weapon. Just think about that for a second. A conventional military strike is basically being framed as a massive non-proliferation strategy. The implications of that are just huge.
And then you have this, the whole idea of regime change. The language used here is fascinating. It's not the goal, you see. It wasn't a criteria. It's just what happens. By wiping out the military and its leadership, the government just kind of collapses. It's presented as an accidental byproduct, which, wow, that really changes the conversation around national sovereignty.
So, the hard drive is wiped clean. What does that mean for what comes next? For negotiations, for contingency plans? Well, the point of view here is one of complete and utter finality.
This quote just says it all. Why would you need a plan B? The whole point of plan A is the total annihilation of your opponent's ability to fight back. From this perspective, once their military is gone, the problem is solved. There's nothing left to have a backup plan for.
And this slide really puts that idea of finality in stark contrast. Look at this. On one side, you've got 47 years of diplomacy, decades of talks and negotiations with past administrations. And on the other side, this new reality, described as one and done, a single, decisive act meant to make all that history totally irrelevant.
Which, of course, leaves us with this final, really provocative question. Once you've actually done it, once you've wiped a nation's military hard drive completely clean, what comes next? You've created a blank slate, a power vacuum. And you have to ask yourself, what new problems, what unforeseen dangers are going to rush in to fill that empty space?